other people's family saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
We've been catching a lot of flack playing this song, political correctness and all that, this fat man theme, making fun apparently of overweight people that can't control their weight. And they keep saying fat man. Hear him? Fat man, clear as a bell. See? Fat man again. And watch this, they start teasing, nanny, 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 watch. Gets really harsh. Politically incorrect, for sure. Drew Brees bailing us out. Thank you, Mr. Brees. I think it's pronounced Brees. Drew Brees, yeah, you right. I'll never forget the first time. A couple of things happened the first time I met Drew Brees face to face. It's kind of funny. The first one was I was about to tell him, hey, you have like a smudge on your face with the birthmark thing, literally. Because up close, I mean, it just seemed that way. So that's the first thing. That would have been a big no-no, huh? And then the second thing, when the Saints used to bring in free agents, they would allow the media to talk to the free agent that came through the facility afterwards, before they went on to go talk to another team. And I just asked Drew Brees about, you're coming from La Jolla, where he lives now, which is like one of the most affluent, rich, first-class, high-class neighborhoods in America, the world. It's crazy. His house is outrageous. The compound, the folks around him, the location outside of San Diego, incredible. The Dolphins are knocking on the door. It's 5 million people in the metro, international city, just world class, lots of first class, rich, affluent folks, lots of them, lots of nice stuff. Just how does New Orleans post Katrina? It's 2005, How does New Orleans compete? Or 06, excuse me. How does New Orleans compete? And I remember the Saints brass was kind of upset a little bit about that. And then they realized, Corey didn't do anything wrong. That's a totally legitimate question. We just don't need to be giving the media the free agents we bring through here. The media guy knows the agent. No, they can get the player themselves. That's fine. But free agent players that we're bringing in to try out, to talk to show them the city, to bring them in the facility, work them out, not work them out, whatever it is, work out a contract, tell them what's going on. We don't need to hand them over to the media afterwards. Why are we doing that? What's the benefit for us? No, I think at first it was like, Corey, damn it, why are you asking that question? We're trying to land this guy. It just was a legitimate question. It's no Katrina. It's like La Jolla to South Beach, or some, I'm saying South Beach. Miami folks are laughing. There's so many more affluent, nice places in Metro Miami where the super rich and super wealthy live and play and do their thing with all that moolah. That was kind of the point. New Orleans couldn't compete. If that's your thinking, and that's a lot of players thinking. I used to cover sports pre-Katrina. That's all I did is talk sports talk radio. I remember talking to a lot of players. First off, the trend was these players, free agents, especially Saints players, and the Pelicans were a smaller group, so I think it was easier to influence that group on reality, where the Saints, I think, kind of ignored it for years. Hey, let the players do what they want. They're used to this. Coming from another market. Players would move to like Chateau Estates or Armand Estates, some golf course community, some type of thing like that. Never to like Uptown New Orleans or Old Metairie or Avron out by the lakefront in Metairie. Never those kind of really nice, sort of the rich and wealthy of New Orleans where they live areas, but always sort of these golf course communities, sort of out by the Saints facility. I remember talking to Ricky Williams one time. I'm like, he lived at like Chateau Estates. I was like, why? It's like you're 20 something years old, dude. It's crazy. You married, you got 4 kids. Yeah, go buy a house on Chateau Latour on the golf course at Chateau Estates. You're 23, 24, 25. Go down to the Quarter, the warehouse district. He got a place in the Quarter. He rented a place in the Quarter like 6 months after our interview. Literally. 20-something-year-old kid getting a 5,000 square foot mansion in Chateau Estates. I'm not saying it's not nice. I'm just like, that isn't where you want to be. Anyway, Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, you right. A Thursday afternoon. Anyway, yeah, could you imagine? Hey, Drew, you got a smudge on your cheek. Whoops. That stopped the free agents getting handed over to the media by the Saints, which they should have never handed him over in the first place. That was the last one, the Drew Brees coming through. It's never happened since. Oh, boy. The Army Corps of Engineers, New Orleans Homeland Security, the Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness, state, local, federal officials meeting, an update on the saltwater wedge. The good news, first off, just the good news, that sill with the little dip in it for the ships to pass through, they keep building it up. They're not even finished building it up. And it appears to be holding back a pretty good amount of salt. It's staying low. It's sinking in that part of the river. It's getting denser and denser, I guess, up against that sill. But testing the water on the south side of the sill, testing it on the north side, major differences. The sill is slowing things down. And they're going to keep building that. So that's going to continue to work. Basically, they're kind of saying that the saltwater wedge really hasn't moved in about the last week and a half. Now, that's great news. Better timeline for us, extended. We're talking maybe not until, check this out, early December, where Jefferson Parish's East Bank water facility, where New Orleans East Bank water facilities could be affected. Maybe not until early December. That stretches out the timeline by an extra month or more, 4 or 5 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks for some rain to come, 4 or 5 weeks to get those creeks, rivers, bayous, canals, tributaries, whatever, swelling with water that flow into the Mississippi and get some flow going. What is the river flowing at, like 150,000 cubic feet per second? Needs to be flowing at 300,000, like twice the flow. Yeah, we need a lot of rain. But some great news as Metairie, or say Jefferson Parish, New Orleans, continue on their own pipeline journey to fresh water. Sewage and Water Board Deputy General Superintendent Steve Nelson's going to join us in about 5 minutes on the program. He was there today. We'll find out what happened with the Sewage and Water Board, an array of entities, local, statewide, federal, New Orleans Homeland Security, Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Management, the Army Corps of Engineers, of course. Steve Nelson, Sewage and Water Board, 5 minutes away. A Louisiana state grand jury voted against indicting anyone for causing the Hard Rock collapse 4 years ago. It's like a 2-year criminal investigation by DA Jason Williams and coming up with nothing. Next Thursday, I think, is 4 years since the catastrophe. Louisiana law, 4 years to file a gross negligence charge. Corey Johnson with you. Great weather on the way. A little bit tomorrow, then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Kaboom goes the dynamite. Absolutely fantastic. Hey, every day this program on radio, television, YouTube, Corey Johnson, Neutral Ground on YouTube, live streaming on our website, CoreyTalks.com. It's always brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner. And now Lamarck Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway, the truck dealership. Every day, this program brought to you by Ronnie Lamarck
Dave Miet
from
Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations, New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor.
Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Corey Johnson with you. Great weather on the way, a great weather weekend. I'll fill you in on that in just a few minutes. In the meantime, Steve Nelson is with us. He's the Deputy General Superintendent at the New Orleans Sewerage and Water Board. How you doing, Steve?
Oh, fantastic, Corey. How are you?
Doing well, man. Thanks for joining us this afternoon.
You're most welcome. Thanks for having me.
It's been a whirlwind for you guys the last few days, huh?
Truly, yeah, lots of excitement, as I'm sure everybody is aware. It's been a really interesting couple of weeks and an interesting day to be sure.
All right, today, what went down? The Sewage and Water Board and several other entities met. Am I missing any? The Army Corps, New Orleans Homeland Security, the Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness, local, state, feds. Am I missing anyone?
No, that was it. Had Jefferson Parish there as well, our partners in this whole situation. So, yeah, a full group. Wow.
All right. I'm going to ask you about Jefferson Parish being there. That was one of my questions down the line. That's good to hear. What happened today? I opened up the show with some good news. Update on the wedge. The sill seems to be working. They're still building that. It doesn't appear the wedge has moved too much in the last week and a half. And the best of all of this, maybe 4 or 5 weeks added to the time frame as far as what we're dealing with, but maybe not until early December or so until this salt wedge potentially reaches the parish line, the Carrollton Sewage and Water Board plant, or just a couple of miles north of there, the East Bank Jefferson Parish plant.
Yeah, that's correct. Great synopsis. What the Corps is telling us is just like you said, potential surface salinities reaching our Algiers intakes on or about the 23rd of November, which does give us just about a full month, actually full month and a day more than we had before. And that's also kind of what the caveat there they explained, that assumes no rain in the month of November. So to everybody that's been praying for rain in the Ohio River Basin, prayers answered. Keep those coming, and we'll see what happens in November there. And also even better news for our East Bank intakes, the potential of no effect there. But be that as it may, we remain aware, vigilant, and have our plans in place to address that if it does become an issue.
What almost seemed like an inevitability a few weeks ago, where we can slow this thing down. The wedge might give us 2 weeks, but plans to build pipelines. There was almost a certainty that this thing was going to reach the 2 plants I just mentioned, and probably in about the next 4 weeks, right?
Correct. Yeah, that was the word we received 2 weeks ago, Monday. And so an immense amount of work. Cannot thank enough our state, local, federal partners, the consultants we've been working with, the contractors that have been working with us to develop these plans of action so that we can have meaningful measures ready to go and pull the trigger on to be able to address these situations.
Okay, the best way I can say it, and I'm not trying to knock one or praise one or vice versa, but Jefferson Parish is kind of rolling out a big garden hose type thing, about $15 million to start. You guys are building something that will remain there permanently, apparently. That's maybe $150 million. Am I right?
Well, that's the discussion, and those two solutions there are what's appropriate for each utility. They have significantly less water production needs, so that's a good solution for them. For us, a larger diameter single pipe is what we're going to have if this does get to us. And yeah, we want to do as much in a meaningful way for future events as possible. I do want to clarify the FEMA declaration requires measures to be temporary, but the good news is even if we don't lay this pipe down, which we're all hoping that doesn't end up being the case, all the permit work, the rights of entry, the design packages, these are all things that they're not going to spoil on the shelf. They're going to be reusable, and if this happens again, we're going to be ready to go sooner than later.
Why the garden hose, I call it, like the rollout soft pipe that rolls out that Jefferson Parish is using? Why isn't New Orleans using that when it's 15 million to 150 million if it isn't permanent, Steve?
Yeah, so we did look at the lay flat option, and so Jefferson's intakes and their plants it's split East Bank to West Bank, so they need about 30 to 40 million gallons a day. I don't know the exact number for their East Bank plant, whereas we would need between 100 and 130 million gallons a day. And for each of those pipes, that's a solid foot to 2 feet that you need of that area on the toe of the levee at the Batcher side. And for us to be able to do that with a lay flat pipe, we would need 3-4 times that amount, and there just isn't quite enough real estate. And on top of that, you got to figure there's a set of pumps for each of those roll flat pipes. So we'd end up having a bunch more pumps. So
I got you.
Yep.
I'm doing the math quick in my head. I mean, if you're doing 3 or 4 times the pipe, you're at least 60 million, and more pumps and all that. It can so you're approaching the whatever this 100, 150 million that you guys, and what, it would be more of a hard type pipe that just connects to the next pillar where another pipe fastens to that pipe, and so on and so on?
Yeah, that's correct. It would be a high-density polyethylene or HDPE line that would be welded. It's heat fused.
It's like it's like the stuff you guys are using on Claiborne. I mean, Claiborne right now.
You're exactly right. I was just going to say, if you want an example of it, you can go drive down Claiborne and see some of it in action right now.
Wow. So that 4-foot pipe that's like 6 inches thick with the cutting machine and fusing machine, instead of using it on Claiborne, you guys would be just going upriver by the Batcher, and I mean, it just would lay on the ground?
Yeah, that's correct. Lay on the ground. Of course, the big challenge, or the most challenging engineering part of it, would be the crossings with each of the businesses. And so we do, regardless of whether or not we're going to lay the pipe out, we're making sure that the plans for each of those crossings are laid out and prepared in such a way that it would have minimal disruption, so the business could continue, and we'd have our infrastructure and business owners' infrastructure protected.
What happens when the river rises? You can just move it in?
Yeah, correct. If it were something that were to remain there, and again, FEMA's requirements are for this type of disaster to be temporary. Yes, you could anchor a system like this. You could pick it up and move it. That's the beauty of HDPE, is it's a flexible, resilient material. So there's a number of options for us.
All right, now Steve, that big 4-foot pipe that you guys are laying down Claiborne, that couldn't go like from the Jefferson plant north to the source, wherever it might be, and then have a spur where 20% of that flow goes to Jefferson and the rest goes to you. It just seems like the majority of this run, it could be 15 miles. About 2 of it is by both of you guys' plants. It seems like one large pipe with a spur on each end where they get 20%, you guys get 80% at the tail end, would be much more efficient. I guess I'm kind of bummed that Orleans and Jefferson didn't work together on this. Just your thoughts on that, and then go into, you mentioned Jefferson Parish was at today's meeting.
Yeah, so great question. And I want to emphasize we've been in conversation, in meetings, in design discussions with Jefferson since the day we all found out about this issue. And we did have discussions, and the desire has been to do a single pipeline. Now, the challenge that we ran into is that you would need like a 60-inch pipe or two 48s. And so the timeline that was laid out there on or about October 28th, if everybody remembers that initial timeline, to get that much 60-inch pipe, there's only about 2 factories, I'm told, on planet Earth that make that pipe. And so getting it in the quantities we would need would not be able to meet that time frame, whereas there are about 5 plants that will make 48-inch pipe. So it's really a matter of material.
No, and a width of the pipe, how much water it can carry, all of that. No, okay, I got you. I'm glad to hear that Orleans and Jefferson were actually working together on this, because it
absolutely have been from the get-go. Had a face-to-face meeting Tuesday. We walked the levee together yesterday, and we'll continue to have face-to-face and phone coordination. This is a regional issue. We got to approach it as a group.
How quickly can Sewage and Water Board lay 2, 3, 4 miles of this pipe? How quickly?
Of the 48-inch pipe, well, what we have from our plans and what we believe is doable is to be able to lay 10 miles of that pipe within 30 days.
Wow.
So fortunately, we've got a solid 2 months here, if there's any effect for the East Bank at all, to be able to ramp that up and put that much pipe on the ground. We're prepared. Like I said, we are moving full speed ahead on permits and rights of entry. That's a legal term to make sure that as we're making those crossings on or around private property, we're not disrupting.
Yep.
But yeah, that's the timeline.
Hey, I got about 10 seconds, Steve. You guys are acquiring this pipe right now on the ground in Orleans Parish at the plant?
We have not pulled the trigger on full procurement, especially in light of today's.
But it's there. It's available where you can get a few miles of that pipe within a week.
Yeah. Yep. There is 48-inch pipe available in the region, in the area, across the country, and plants can ramp up too.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks so much.
It's really relationships, and if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line. Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Thursday afternoon. Spread the word. We bring it every day. All the hot topics, hot takes, strong opinions. That means something. We're not wishy-washy. We're not flaky. No offense. I'm not going to name names. The majority of local folks that do talk radio or are FM disc jockey types that talk or give opinions, do you really care what that person thinks? I mean, think about it. The morning drive people, if they're doing something local, do you care at all what they think? There's not a lot of personalities in New Orleans that are on the radio. I mean, a lot of it's just like yucking it up and chatting and talking and laughing and giggling, and that's fine. I like to laugh and giggle. But if I want info and real hardcore talk radio, and it can be light and entertaining and funny, but I want folks that are going to go to bat for me, you know, like John Q. Citizen, folks that you can trust, that you don't watch or listen to and worry about if they have to hold back or they only can go do this because they could upset someone, or there's an advertiser that pays that station or channel money and you can't go there, and blah, 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 blah. Worse, unqualified bosses telling you how to do your job. All of a sudden, I'm running like, you know, the, what do you want to come up with any example? Delta World Tire. You want to see that shop close in a week? Have Corey Johnson be the general manager. I mean, the amount of time it would take me to learn about tires and car repair and all this, and I know a little bit more than maybe the average person, but 99% less than a professional that does it for a living. No, it would just be a crash and burn. It wouldn't be pretty. No, every day you can count on me bringing it, the stories, the topics, the takes. I don't care if I offend the left. I don't care if I offend the right. I don't care if I offend black. I don't care if I offend white, Jewish, Muslim, Christian, gay, straight, male, female. I don't care if I offend if the message is righteous and it's correct and it's fact-based and those people are wrong or worse, criminal. But also, I'm not looking to do that. I'm looking to lift up and point out the positive and who's doing the right stuff and who's the good person. Hey, great weather on the way. Just ridiculously good weather compared to what we've had. We're not getting down to like, the 40s, although on the North Shore you might see some 40s. I think the North Shore is definitely going to see 50s in the morning for a few mornings. Maybe high 40s. Who knows? Tomorrow, the high temperature is 84. We probably won't see 84 for about a week. Starting on Saturday, we'll wake up to low 60s on the South Shore. On Sunday, high 50s on the South Shore. Sunday morning, North Shore could see like a 48, a 47 somewhere for a few hours. Monday morning, about 60 when you wake up. Tuesday morning, about 63 when you wake up. Wednesday morning, about 65 when you wake up. I don't want to say like cool front. The heat and humidity is going away, so it's not going to be very comfortable. I think nights could be coolish and the mornings could be coolish. Maybe on the North Shore, you might need like a sweater or a hoodie or a sweatshirt or something, long pants. I think on the South Shore, it's just going to be insanely pleasant. So get outside this weekend. Tomorrow should be good. I mean, there could be a little rain chance overnight, a little rain here or there. We need it desperately. But boy, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday looks ridiculously good. Yeah, you right, weather on the way. That means outdoor dining all day long under the big green awning, under the oak trees, on the streetcar line. It's about as good as it gets. I'm talking about Lebanon's Cafe. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn. Lamb chops, shish kebab, all your favorite Middle Eastern sides, some of the finest Middle Eastern food in Metro New Orleans. Lebanon's Cafe, in between Claiborne's and the Riverbend, where Carrollton Avenue is one lane, on the streetcar line, under the oak trees, under the big green awning. Lebanon's Cafe. By the way, 11 a.m. to 9:30 every day but Tuesday. So that means this entire stretch of great weather, 11 a.m. till 9:30, Lebanon's Cafe, outdoor dining. Not to be the old broken record, I try to find silver linings with Katrina, and it could be, the New Orleans public school system going away. That would be a huge silver lining from Katrina. That broken, ridiculous, criminal system that did nothing. 7, 8, 9,000, quote, Orleans Parish public school employees just terminated like everybody else in New Orleans. And then, folks that were really teachers and principals, and that's their vocation. That's what they do. It's in them. They teach children. That's what they do. But they're back in the system right away. The charlatans, the jokers, those that shouldn't be there, they're long gone. Charter schools in Orleans, not the savior, long way to go, but actually educating kids a little bit in the Orleans Parish public school system, especially compared to the past. It was a joke. It was a joke. And some of the nicest school buildings for public school students in the United States of America are in Orleans Parish. About $2 billion worth of public school buildings in Orleans Parish in the last 15 years. $2 billion. Some of the finest public school buildings in America. Silver lining post-Katrina. BP oil disaster. I don't know, getting some barrier islands rebuilt. Getting some $14 billion in levee flood protection. That was a post-Katrina. Plus, getting that kind of bolstered with, outside of that, Grand Isle, New Orleanians should be paying money to Grand Isle. for big rocks or whatever. Look on a map. It's like the way the bird flies, like 60 miles due south of the French Quarter. Big old barrier island. You want that to be a brick you-know-what house. No, BP oil disaster, rebuilding our coast. That's a silver lining. No, coronavirus crisis. Now, I'm going from major silver linings to kind of a smaller one, but, you know, it changed the industry for whatever it's worth. And yeah, I'm not trying to compare it to the other two that were giganticus, changing the school system in New Orleans and the coast, kind of recreating our coast, saving our coastline. Those are huge, but I'm laughing because it's so much smaller and much more minor, but it's a silver lining nonetheless of the coronavirus crisis. I mentioned Lebanon's Cafe and Outdoor Dining. Maybe before 3 years ago, we might have had 24 restaurants in Metro New Orleans that had outdoor dining, like maybe 25 or 30 in the whole metro area that had regular outdoor dining. And you're rolling your eyes going, Corey, come on. Now we probably have about 100. So we went from 30 to 100 roughly. We like triple, quadrupled, I would say at least the number of restaurants that serve outdoors. And then to-go orders, high, middle end, and then high-end restaurants, especially that just did not do to-go orders. It was like blasphemy. The chef was like cringing. That doesn't travel well. They do to-go orders now. Some even have curbside delivery where they walk it right out to your car, like Lillette on Magazine. Walk it right out to your car. So anyway, Trey Yen, walk it right out to your car. Now you got to find these silver linings in these disasters, these nightmares. Hopefully we'll find one with the Army Corps. Well, maybe we found one today. Steve Nelson with the Sewage and Water Board said New Orleans and Jefferson Parish were working very hard to do one pipeline, and it really wasn't feasible. It really wasn't feasible. We're doing two, and doing them separately is the right way to go. And Orleans and Jefferson have been in constant communication and continue to be, like today, walking the levees together, and then this meeting with the Army Corps, New Orleans Homeland Security, the Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness. So no, maybe grinding it out, banging it out, figuring it all out. Maybe New Orleans and Jefferson Parish are working together. Maybe that is the silver lining of all this. And then a little good news today. This wedge appears to be stationary. That sill that they keep building taller and taller downriver seems to be working. And the timeline has been extended like 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks into December for New Orleans and Jefferson Parish plants. No, huge news, great news for Jefferson Parish and New Orleans especially. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday, coming right back.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa, and now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
I bet you there's a little Leidenheimer over at Katie's, to say the least. Don't you love when you're tooling around town? Po' boy shop, fine dining restaurant. There's just this big old bag of Leidenheimer French bread. Just dozens of loaves in each bag. Some places have 2-3 bags of that Leidenheimer French bread leaning against the door. Dropping it off early. The proprietors of that restaurant, the owners show up unlocking the door. They're grabbing the big bags of Leidenheimer French bread and bringing them into the restaurant. Leidenheimer French bread, good to the last crumb, part of the fabric of New Orleans. Great weather on the way. Might have a little rain for an hour or so overnight or something, maybe early morning. I doubt it. Maybe. But really, outside of that, I think whatever you want to do outside, you're pretty much 99% chance going to be able to do it tomorrow through next Wednesday, and Saturday on for 4 straight days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Exceptionally great weather. Cool in the morning and comfortable during the day and not hot and not humid. Thumbs up on that. Hey, thumbs up on good news from the Army Corps of Engineers. We were a month out, about 4 weeks out from, before Halloween maybe. salt water at the Orleans Parish East Bank Water Plant by the Sewage and Water Board at the parish line, and about 2 miles north, the East Bank Jefferson Parish Plant and the West Bank Jefferson Parish Plant inundated. Have to bring in fresh water, pipe it in from north, spend tens of millions, hundreds of million, 100 million plus in New Orleans case, and bring in this water. Now, this sill that was overtopped, that the Army Corps built like a wall, a levee, underwater, below the surface, down south of the city on the Mississippi River, it was breached by this salt water. Salt water's heavier. It sinks to the bottom of the river. It's stacked up against the lower sill like a lower levee. The salt water did. The fresh water's on top. And then it started overtopping the sill and going north of the sill. Now the Army Corps is raising that existing sill. And they've been doing that, and they're going to continue to do it. The work continues for like the next 2 or 3 weeks. Just every day, piling up more and more, making it higher and higher, and leaving this little wedge in the middle where ships can go in and out. So that's where you're going to have some salt slip in, but most of it's just going to kind of back up, up against this levee. It's like a crowd storming the stage at a concert or a soccer match. It's going to pile up at the gate. Some folks are going to climb on top of other folks and get over the wall. Some aren't, just piling up. So basically, the Army Corps said today, because of that, I guess the sill and whatever, Mother Nature, whatever, this saltwater wedge really hasn't moved in the last week to 10 days. Still like 20 plus miles south of New Orleans. The update is, it's just great news, a better timeline for us, extended. The heightened sill is helping. Maybe not, and maybe not at all, but maybe not until early to mid-December right now for Orleans and Jefferson, if it comes at all. And there's optimism now that you're going to have rains in October, in November, and maybe enough to increase the flow of the river from this meager 150 cubic feet per second to what it needs to be, double that, about 300,000 cubic feet per second. So anyway, great news, however you want to cut it up. Jefferson Parish, full steam ahead with their lay flat hose, that rollout hosing they're using. And Orleans Parish, Steve Nelson, Sewage and Water Board, said they've got a bunch of this pipe ready anytime they need it delivered. It's in New Orleans within days, and within 30 days, I think, what did he say? They can build 10 miles. And it's the exact same black pipe that the city of New Orleans, the Sewage and Water Board, is laying on Claiborne Avenue right now. This huge pipe, it's 4 feet in diameter. It's about 6 inches thick. There's a huge machine that cuts it. There's a huge machine that sort of melts the two pieces together. It's seamless. It's pretty amazing. That's what New Orleans is doing. They have an existing 4-foot old pipe. And what they're doing, it's pretty amazing. They're taking this 4-foot pipe that is made out of this plastic material. They are stretching it so it becomes less than 4 feet, sticking it inside the old 4-foot pipe, and then just letting it expand. It's like a stent. It's like a stent. Pretty amazing technology and pretty smart. Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, you, right. Hey, why aren't you at Katie's right now? Thursday, almost pre-weekend. It's close to 5 o'clock, a minute away from 5. The workday's over with. Why aren't you beelining to Katie's right now? Why aren't you at Katie's right now? The perfect after-work wind-down spot, lunch and dinner, Monday through Saturday, brunch on Sunday. They stay open throughout the day. Outdoor dining, outdoor weather soon. Take advantage of it. As New Orleans says it gets. Katie's in Mid-City. 5 o'clock powwow is next. This guy loves it. What's that, Blue Boy? Tell folks they should stick around for the 5 o'clock powwow hour. I need to hurry home afterwards. You're hungry. Kibble's fine, but you'd like some high-quality human food at least put in with the kibble. I hear you, buddy. Don't move.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers Breitling time, 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family-owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us steer you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Here's New Orleans native son, Corey Johnson.
New Orleans City Councilman Freddie King joins us.
So I want to first say thanks for having me. And believe it or not, man, I used to listen to your show all the time driving home. So it's an honor to be on.
Freddie, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's an honor to have you on the program. Thanks.
The official afternoon talk show of the city of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see. What about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Wow. I almost wouldn't be disappointed to watch an episode or two of Sanford and Son. Red Fox was incredible. A little interesting fact. Malcolm X, known as Red because of his red hair, and Red Fox, once known as Red and Red, they were both stand-up comedians. In Harlem, same time. Malcolm X, stand-up comedian at one time. Red Fox, hysterical. One of the funniest Americans, human beings of all time. Red Fox. Drew Brees. Yeah, you right. Number 9. Thanks for that introduction. 5 o'clock power hour coming your way on a Thursday afternoon. Yeah, you right. Great weather starting kind of tomorrow, but really Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Perfecto. Really nice. Could be a little cloud cover and stuff like that, but it's going to be a lot of sunshine too. No real rain in the forecast and much lower temperatures. You North Shore folks could see some high 40s. Wow. South Shore folks, we might see high 50s one morning or two. Definitely 60s in the morning. Yeah, you right. You got to love that. And then 70s during the day. Another yeah, you right. Great weather on the way. Fantastic. And this isn't even like a cold front. It's sort of like a Coolio front. It's like a get rid of the heat and humidity and just be comfortable, like air conditioning outside front. Gotta like that. Fantastic. Hey, the 5 o'clock powwow on this Thursday, brought to you by Helm Paint and Decorating. 7 locations in Metro New Orleans, steering you right. I got some paint. My guys are picking up tomorrow. I called in the order at Earhart. I asked for Ronnie. He was busy. Asked for Charlie. He was busy. And the girl was like, I can help you. It's a paint order. I said, yeah. What's your name? Johnson. First name, Corey. Kaare. What house? What address? What are you talking? What do you need? The last paint I had, this Regal Select for the outdoor of my house. Oh, yeah, that's 09. Okay, yeah, that was it. OC09 or something like that. I'm like, that's it. And then I needed, that was in one kind of finish. And then I needed another finish of the same color for the trim. No problem. It'll be ready. Hey, do you need porch paint as well? Totally different color, that gray porch paint. I'm like, yeah, I actually do now that you say it. Wasn't even thinking about that. Make everything perfect. I got to do that right too. So yeah, throw in a quart of that. My guys will pick it up under my name, the drive-through in the back, Earhart location. Thanks. No, yeah, don't waste your time free delivering it to me. My guys will come get it because I'm like 5 minutes from the Earhart location. There's 7 Helm Paint and Decorating locations. So convenience for you, East Bank, West Bank, North Shore, Mandeville, Hammond, or free 2-hour delivery anywhere in Metro New Orleans. Hey, you Baton Rouge folks, don't miss out on the fun. Baton Rouge's paint store, Helm Paint and Decorating. That's right. Helm Paint and Decorating has invaded Tiger Town with 4, count them, 4 Helm Paint and Decorating locations in Baton Rouge, servicing the entire Metro Baton Rouge area with that same free 2-hour delivery we got here in New Orleans. So anywhere in Baton Rouge, by LSU, down by the Country Club of Louisiana, up in Scotlandville, on the bluff by Southern, across the river, West Baton Rouge, Bruley, Port Allen, maybe going the other way, Prairieville, Gonzales. Helm Paint and Decorating, 4 Baton Rouge locations to serve you. That's right. 7 locations in New Orleans, 4 in Baton Rouge. Helm Paint and Decorating got you covered. Mandeville, Hammond, everywhere. Benjamin Moore Products. Can't go wrong with Helm. When it's time to paint, Helm. Simple. Great news today. The Army Corps of Engineers, New Orleans Homeland Security, the Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness, Jefferson Parish officials meeting, an update on the saltwater wedge. Great news. Better timeline for all of us. It's been extended because that heightened sill downriver is helping. And they continue every day to dredge more material and build it up. I think they continue building it up through like October 25th for like the next 3 weeks. It is slowing down that saltwater intrusion, that saltwater wedge, that salt water coming north up the river on the bottom of the river, essentially. Salt water heavier, sinking, fresh water on top. The Army Corps saying that wedge essentially hasn't moved in about 10 days. Still about 20 miles or so south of the city. And instead of 4 weeks away from maybe inundating the Sewage and Water Board plant, the Jefferson plant, seemed like an 80, 90% chance roughly, huh? Now it's sort of like a 50-50 that it's going to inundate those plants. And it wouldn't be until December now. And that's why the percentage is lower, because you've got 6 weeks now, 8 weeks now, instead of 4. Instead of late October, it's really more than that. Instead of like 4 weeks, it's like 10 weeks. So that's a much larger window for rain to come and solve this problem, and a much larger window to lay down pipe going north up the river Batcher to wherever the fresh water is, to pump it south to Jefferson Parish, East and West Bank water plants, and New Orleans. So no, great news. Last damn thing we need, huh? So that thing's bogging down, slowing down. Hopefully that sill with the increased height, coupled with the extended period we're getting, gives us some much needed rain, and it naturally pushes that saltwater wedge south. About 150,000 cubic feet a second, the Mississippi River flow, 150,000 cubic feet a second. We need about double that, about 300,000 cubic feet a second to push that wedge south. But still great news. The sill is working, an extended timeline. Instead of 4 weeks, like 10 weeks. Great news. And sort of a side note of great news, Steve Nelson joined us from the Sewage and Water Board, the Deputy General Superintendent. He says New Orleans and Jefferson Parish officials have been working together from day one and continue to work together, walking the levees together. Jefferson and New Orleans at today's meeting. So that's good to hear, that it isn't just some total headbutting and divisiveness. There's so many folks. I mean, look at social media. Wouldn't want to work with New Orleans. Wouldn't want to work with Jefferson Parish. Folks are like proud of, don't even know any reasons why, but proud that they're not working together, not cooperating, proud of that. Just obnoxious, yesteryear, stupid, dopey behavior by insecure people that aren't cutting edge, aren't into change, like to just kind of hang in their muck, don't want to move forward. You have at it. We're going to move forward without you. Hey, they opened their doors about 15 minutes ago for dinner. They roll till 9 p.m. tonight. I'm talking about Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. Sicilian and Italian. Who doesn't like that? Veal, fish, chicken. Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. So much more. Sicilian and Italian. New Orleans inspired at its best. Convenient. They opened their doors 15 minutes ago. They go 5 to 9 tonight. Tomorrow, Friday, Saturday night, they go 5 to 10 for dinner. And they'll be open for lunch tomorrow. Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. You cannot go wrong at Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. So good. A Louisiana state grand jury voted against indicting anyone for causing the Hard Rock collapse nearly 4 years ago. A 2-year criminal investigation by the New Orleans DA, Jason Williams' office, getting nowhere, and they're very frustrated by getting nowhere. So is everybody else. Next Thursday, I think the 12th of October, that is the 4-year date, 4 years since the catastrophe. Louisiana law, 4 years to file a gross negligence charge. So all of this is coming to a head. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Yeah, you right.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store, and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe. Young's Dry Cleaning with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring.
With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants, Leidenheimer French bread.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Thursday afternoon. I love getting this guy on the program. We toss him a bone. He deserves it. Jeff Dorson, Humane Society of Louisiana, joins us. What's happening, Jeff?
Always a pleasure. Well, it's the usual. We're just trying to react to all the different crises that humans create. And unfortunately, our animal friends usually are the victims and suffer. But we're working very hard, as you know, to try and address everything. Big case in Washington Parish, 13 dogs seized, the owners arrested. As you would say, the losers were arrested. But the problem is, like many places, Washington Parish doesn't have animal control. Now, they do have a shelter in Franklinton, but nobody to go out on field calls. So it's kind of a strange, awkward program. So they rely on outsiders like us to come in and fulfill what we think is a government duty and function. So Friday night, we go with the sheriff's office. They make the arrest. We take the dogs, and they're all in pitiful shape. Urine burns on their pads, dental work. A lot of them are sick. All of them are underweight. So, you know, we get our work cut out for us. That happens regularly, a couple times a month.
Where are these 13 dogs right now?
They're at our shelter. We have 3 different animal facilities, and our overworked staff just makes room and does the best we can. So we have been raising money for them. We have a GoFundMe account. We have Facebook, as you know. So if this interests people, they can always donate. It goes right where it's needed on the front line.
All right, you got these 13 dogs, and when did you get them?
Friday night. We get the call at 7 p.m. Most people are shut down. We answer the phone. We get there at 8. They arrest them later that night, and we start hauling the dogs back to our sanctuary. It's an all-night thing.
So like midnight, 1, 2 a.m., you guys are messing with these 13 dogs late last Friday night, early Saturday morning.
That is what it takes. Exactly right. We're kind of like this MASH unit, you know, with the incoming wounded, and you just are on call.
When did the vets first get there? Like Saturday or Sunday? Well,
we bring vets to them. We don't have any on staff, so we have to work within their schedule. But the animals were fed, watered, cleaned, separated. They had a great night's rest for the first time ever. If you look at the pages, they were kept in tiny kennels. They could hardly move around or stand up.
Wow.
Horrible for a dog who loves to run and jump and play. Try and put that fit a dog into a suitcase. That's pretty much how they were living.
That's pathetic. I'm glad those people got arrested. How are these 13 dogs doing 5-6 days later?
They're all doing much better. You can see they're smiling. One wants to shake hands. They're playful. They come out of their shells, couple good meals. They're dewormed. They're not living in filth. The pads of their feet are not so burned and delicate. They're coming around. Dogs thrive in a good environment. I mean, I've seen them near death, hours away from dying, and a couple weeks later, they're jumping and playing. So that's what we love to see. And that's where people's donations can turn things around quickly.
You mentioned a lot of ailments from like dental and other things. I'm assuming some of the 13 have to be heartworm positive.
Yep, we're testing. You know what? I think my staff surprisingly said none of them had tested positive yet.
Wow,
now,
that's
some of
great.
them are pregnant, of course.
Some are pregnant, and none are fixed.
No.
So you have to spay or neuter 13 dogs.
Yep, multiply that with a couple litters, and you're looking at 30 or 40 dogs in no time.
So 2 of them are pregnant, and what are you expecting each litter to be roughly? What's your guesstimate on that? Half dozen each?
Say it again. I'm so sorry.
How many puppies each dog will produce? Half dozen each?
Oh, yeah. We've all seen 8 puppies come out. Yeah, 8, 9, sometimes 10. So, yeah, they
all
multiply.
Right, so you got 13. You're going to soon have 25 dogs, including half of them puppies, apparently.
Of course.
All need to be spayed and neutered. These 13 need, everything. These puppies are going to need everything. What with about 25 dogs, what kind of money are we talking about that's going to be needed to take care of these dogs until they're ready to be, adopted out?
Yeah, fair question. That's a question the parish officials should know. We're linking them in. We're saying, look, guys, this is your job to figure out how to provide these services. It can't be ours. We've been coming to your parish for 30 years. Either help us, come on a Friday night, see what it's all about, or sit down and figure out how to fund this. So 13 dogs needing dental and flea rid and being altered and, all this other stuff, dental and ear work, definitely 5, 6, 7, 8,000.
And what's the age of these dogs roughly?
Oh, they vary, young to middle age, no elderly, thank goodness.
Wow.
Adorable. That's the thing. You can mistreat a dog most of its life, and if you start being nice to it, it wags its tail. I've never seen anything like it. You and I would be pretty grumpy and holding a grudge. The dogs don't really do that.
Yeah, you're totally right. HumaneLA.org is the website where you can donate right now. You can donate a little where they'll pull it out of off of a debit card, out of a checking account, whatever. They'll do that every month, a few bucks. Or you can just give a one-time pop. Or if you're good about it, every few months, just remember to go to HumaneLA.org and donate, because they'll have another situation like 13 dogs or a horse or a goat or cats or something, and they'll need your help. 13 dogs, 2 of them are pregnant, going to be a minimum of 25 dogs, 13 dogs, maybe 13 or more puppies. All of them need help. So thousands of dollars need to be raised for just this one situation. The parish contributing any money?
0. And we're going to change that. So we're on our post. We're going to ask people to contact them. They don't know. It hasn't been on their radar. They assume somebody's taking care of it. Well, guess what? Come join it. Parish officials, come with us on a Friday night if you think it's being handled. Because if we hadn't been there, guess who'd still be in those suitcase-sized cages being, mistreated and hungry. So it's really up to parish officials. Some of them are using being kind to animals as part of their campaign platforms, we're loving that. We've been begging candidates for public office to say that they care about pets and want to do better in their community. And we're seeing a few do that. And that's really heartwarming.
No,
that's
is
a good campaign.
No, that is.
Idea.
No, you might get 50% of them actually following through on the promise. Better than nothing. Better than nothing.
The voters who care about animals use it to our advantage. Ask the candidates, where do they feel? How are the programs going? Are there enough services being funded? If they're not, can they use their office to improve their community on this issue? It's overlooked. It's not. It's under, everything about animals and our relationship to animals is usually never discussed at high levels, and it should be.
No, you're right. And in Louisiana, especially, it's ignored worse.
Mm-hmm.
It's worse than ignored. We have cockfighting and dog fighting, and we don't have spay and neuter laws. We have kill shelters. It's insane. And we have laws that aren't enforced where people should be arrested, like this couple, I don't know, husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever they were, with the 13 dogs, and 2 are pregnant. So at least 2. So that's going to be, like we said, maybe 25, 30 dogs. HumaneLA.org. Go to the website right now, HumaneLA.org, to donate. If you go to their Facebook page, they're constantly updating. Now, it's like one of those TV shows, like before and after and the update. Like, they'll show you like these 13 dogs and they need your help right now. And then in 6 weeks or 3 months or whatever, they'll show you these 13 dogs, how much better they look, and being adopted out or being sent to a no-kill shelter that is in desperate need of dogs that are getting adopted out. But every day they're updating what they're doing, and they need your help. If you go to their Facebook page, Humane Society of Louisiana, you will go to their website and donate, HumaneLA.org. What else is happening besides these 13 dogs? Because I know something else is going on that's almost as big, Jeff.
Afternoon for Animals, November 4th, Metairie Sheraton, and you will be getting our Golden Heart Award. That's our big luncheon where we take a minute and look at what we've accomplished, what's ahead of us. Congressman Troy Carter will be our featured speaker. It's a big deal where we take a look at how do we really address this at the best levels possible. At the congressional level, state, local, it's all needed. And you'll be there. We're going to thank you for being a champion on this issue for 30 plus years. You know, you're kind of modest about how you've been helping us all along when we were a mom and pop grassroots. We still are, but thank you for being such a big spokesperson and champion on this issue. Good for you.
Good for you, Jeff. You're the man.
Well, we need you. We can't do this stuff without your audience. You know, every May you help us raise $10,000 through your Humane May. So, you know, Mr. Modesty, I think you need a little pat on the back.
Well, I appreciate it, Jeff. I appreciate what you do. It's easy what I do. You're the grinder. You're doing all the hard work. You and your crew. I mean, the very few.
You chose to look at it directly, which is what I admire about you. You're willing to just say, hey, this is a huge problem, ladies and gentlemen. Let's solve this together. You don't turn away like, you know, other people do in your industry. You're right in there with us, and I thank you for that.
Jeff, always a pleasure, brother. I love having you on the program. Keep up the great work. 13 dogs need your help. More coming because 2 are pregnant. HumaneLA.org to help and donate. HumaneLA.org. Thanks, brother.
Perfect. Thank you.
Coming right back, New Orleans.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson.
Did you have any problem with Angel Reese? There was a photo of her coming off the bus, holding the phone with the...
And that was a bunch of bull. That was Photoshop, that young lady. That's social media for you. How dare somebody do that?
No, I was wondering if it was Photoshopped or if it was real.
You just got the real answer from somebody who was there.
It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Can you believe tomorrow is already Friday? Another Fantasy Friday edition of the program tomorrow. That means Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. They got some good news. Some jobs are a-coming. MKS Plastics, an expansion up on the North Shore. More jobs. Michael Hecht will join us tomorrow from Greater New Orleans Inc. to discuss that and more. That segment every Friday, brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant that continues to grow. I mean, it's like year in, year out, decade in, decade out. They are just hiring. It's all they do. They are a machine, literally and figuratively, born, bred, and based out of New Orleans. If you're looking for a job, if you're looking for a career, Latrim's got you covered. East Bank, West Bank, North Shore. They got a place for you at Latrim, their Elmwood facility, their I-12 facility on the North Shore. Latrim's looking for you. Go to Latrim.com for a full listing of positions available. A new job, a career. Latrim.com, dozens and dozens and dozens of jobs available. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, Latrim.com. Every Friday when Michael Hecht joins us from Greater New Orleans Inc., that segment of the program brought to you by Latrim. What a great New Orleans success story. Hey, if you missed the 4 o'clock hour, Steve Nelson joined us with the Sewage and Water Board. He's the Deputy General Superintendent. Talked about the meeting, the Sewage and Water Board, the Army Corps of Engineers, New Orleans Homeland Security, the Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness, also Jefferson Parish officials. An update on the saltwater wedge. No, great news. Better timeline for us. Extended. That heightened sill that was breached over top, that essentially underwater levee or wall that's supposed to slow down the saltwater heavier, running along the bottom of the river, fresh water on top, above it. This underwater sill was topped. The Army Corps has been every day dredging and pouring dredge material on top, building this levee, this mound underwater, taller and taller and taller. The Corps said today the saltwater wedge kind of hasn't moved in like the last week or 10 days. Still about 20 miles or so south of the city. Where the Carrollton plant, the Sewage and Water Board intake plant for the East Bank of New Orleans, the East Bank and West Bank Jefferson Parish plants, they were expected to be not the physical plants, but the river where they take in the water, inundated with water that would be very salty within about 4 weeks. Now the timeline has been pushed back to about 12 weeks, like from a month to like 2 or 3 months, like 2.5 months from like maybe before Halloween to now, like before Christmas. And the before Halloween thing was like, what, a 80% chance of happening? 90% chance of happening? Now this before Christmas thing is like maybe a 50-50, because it's not only more time, it's instead of 4 weeks, it's 10 weeks and November and December and rain coming. And maybe enough rain to get the river moving at double its speed, literally double. It's moving right now at, the flow is 150,000 cubic feet a second. And the flow needs to be 300,000 cubic feet a second. So no, we get some rainfall. It'll take care of itself. Jefferson Parish moving full speed ahead with their rollout piping. New Orleans basically just holding, steady right now, monitoring the situation. Steve Nelson of the Sewage and Water Board said that exact same pipe that you see the Sewage and Water Board laying on Claiborne Avenue, it is 48 inches. It's the inside of the pipe is 4 feet, and then it's about 6 inches wide, thick. Literally, it's amazing what the Sewage and Water Board's doing on Claiborne. They're stretching that pipe, inserting it in existing 4-foot pipe, and then letting it expand, and it's filling the gap. It's like they're putting a stent in. But that's a whole other story. That pipe, that 4-foot in diameter black pipe that they can cut and kind of melt together with a machine, a big machine, that is the exact same pipe they'd be using. Steve Nelson said the 48-inch diameter pipe is readily available. At least a half dozen facilities around the country producing this. Miles of it available immediately. So Steve Nelson with the Sewage and Water Board Deputy General Superintendent, not too concerned, says they can do about 10 miles of this pipe in about 25 days. So the Sewage and Water Board, very confident, especially with the extended time period, and they were confident without it. but they're on hold. They're not even getting the pipe delivered to the sewage and water board facility. They're just securing it from purveyors and at a minute's notice can have access to it. Jefferson Parish using the lay flat pipe that they can roll out. And Cynthia Lei Shang, the president of Jefferson Parish, said they're moving forward with that plan, regardless of today's news from the Corps. But some absolutely great news from the Army Corps. There's no doubt about that. Hey, the weather is getting better. This weekend's going to be fantastic. Lows. I mean, we may have a day or two, a morning or two, I should say, over the next few days where it's like 58, 59. You folks on the North Shore, you might have a high 40s wake-up morning. High 40s. Lots of 60s and 70s. Really nice weather over the next few days. But that doesn't mean you're not going to be running air conditioning again soon. That doesn't mean you're not going to be using heat. If you ever need air conditioning or heat help, you can remember River City's Total Maintenance. You can remember they're honest, fair and honest Lucas and the boys, incapable of screwing you around. You can remember that they're air conditioning and heating experts. They're going to diagnose it right the first time. You can remember that they'll come immediately. You're bummed out, your AC, your heat's not working, you want it fixed yesterday. They're coming right now. You can remember all of that about River City's Total Maintenance. So you can just remember NOLAAC.com. That's all you really need to remember. Having that secure feeling that, hey, there's my AC operation. Oh, let me go to the website. Who is it? Oh, River City's Total Maintenance. I forgot their name. I just remembered what Corey said, NOLAAC.com. That's all you really need to know because you can feel secure. You can feel relieved that you got honest folks that are incapable of screwing you around. Fair and honest Lucas and the boys will not perform any service, repair, replacement that is not absolutely necessary. They're AC and heating experts, 35 plus techs, centuries of experience. They diagnose it right away, first time. They know what they're doing. And they come immediately. Lucas realizes you're inconvenienced. He wants you taken care of, satisfied quickly. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. River City's Total Maintenance. Or just remember, like I said, NOLAAC.com. You know, honestly, like I will read sources, plural, and I just know who they are, and I'll read one, and if it was just that one, I would remember who it is. But I'm reading that source and then another credible source and another credible source, and then in my brain, I have an idea from a consensus of what is. And I don't have to go, it was Fred Smith with the McGillicuddy review. That's who wrote that. I can look up the sources later if you're questioning me, but I can go with confidence that I know what I'm saying is right because I remember multiple sources confirming it. That's kind of like NOLAAC.com. You have to worry about all the other stuff. Just, wow, everything's taken care of. Everything's taken care of. NOLAAC.com. I ever need air conditioning or heat help. NOLAAC.com. That's simple. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Yeah, you right. Good news. Saltwater wedge, not really moving. Extended time period instead of 4 weeks hitting New Orleans and Jefferson Parish. Maybe more like 10 weeks. Seriously. Like 10 weeks, that sill is working. The Army Corps continues to raise that sill. All good news today. Great news today. Great news. A Louisiana state grand jury voted against indicting anyone for causing the Hard Rock collapse 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago. As a matter of fact, next Thursday will be 4 years since the catastrophe. Louisiana law, 4 years to file gross negligence charges. Next Thursday, the deadline. But yeah, a grand jury voting against indicting anyone for causing the Hard Rock collapse. Sad. Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, you right. Thursday afternoon, heading towards the weekend.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa, and now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Since 1896, a true taste of New Orleans. Leidenheimer French bread. Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right, Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Hi, everyone. It's Tommy Wrong for AsbestosMoneyGrab.com. This is not, I repeat, not for folks with real asbestos problems. But if you're like me, and we're maybe taking a shop class in high school where you maybe breathed in some brake dust, and you know for certain you're fine, but you're the type of person that takes advantage of these types of situations, get tested, lawyer up, and steal some money like me. Go to I'm not really hurt at all, but like exploiting the system for free cash.com.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Oh boy. Some late 60s meters. That's Art Neville on that Hammond organ. Yeah, you right. Heading home? Rouse's Market's on the way. Got everything you need for a great dinner. Everything you need for the weekend. Tailgating. Great quality. Great prices. Great selection. Rouse's Markets tastes like home. There's a Rouse's in your neighborhood, next door to your neighborhood, probably like work to home. You might pass 2 or 3 Rouses. Rouse's Markets, tastes like home. Corey Johnson with you. Great weather on the way. Yeah, you right. Great day today. Good news, New Orleans, Jefferson Parish. Great news. Plus you folks that are inundated with the saltwater wedge already down in Plaquemine Parish. This is good news for you because the focus can be on you guys instead of the focus maybe being on Orleans and Jefferson Parish. But they're talking like an extension of everything. New Orleans was expecting about, and Jefferson Parish, the main plants right at the parish line for New Orleans, a couple of miles north of the parish line for Jefferson Parish, about a month, about 30 days away. Now it's about 10 weeks or more. Instead of late October, it's like mid-December or later. And instead of, maybe an 80, 90% chance this is happening, we better hustle and get these pipes built. Got to come up with a solution. It's like a 50-50 chance now it may happen, maybe less. Instead of 4 weeks and not a lot of rain in the near forecast, it's 10 weeks and rain expected in November and December. So some absolutely great news today. The Army Corps of Engineers, New Orleans Homeland Security, the Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness, Jefferson Parish officials, Sewage and Water Board officials, Orleans Parish officials. No, the Corps updating the saltwater wedge with some great news. That sill, that underground levee south of the city, they keep building it up. It's working. They measured the water on one side of the sill, the south side, and on the north side, and the salinity levels are mind-bogglingly different. A lot more salt south of the sill than north. So the sill is working. They continue to build that up. The Corps said, really the last week to 10 days, there's been no movement north. So that's great. No, just really great news. This thing may just go away. Last thing we need, my God. Hey, a Louisiana state grand jury voted against indicting anyone for causing the Hard Rock collapse 4 years ago. A 2-year criminal investigation. New Orleans DA Jason Williams coming up empty on this one. Next Thursday, October 12th, it'll be 4 years since the catastrophe. Since the collapse. Louisiana law, 4 years to file gross negligence charges. That's next Thursday, a week away. We'll see what happens, but a lot of people, to say the least, very, very, very disappointed. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Yeah, you right. Thanks for joining us each and every weekday afternoon, 4 to 6 o'clock. Oh, so fine, 93.9 FM. 4 to 6 o'clock weekdays. CoreyTalks.com, live streaming. Our website, CoreyTalks.com. 4 to 6 o'clock weekdays. We're on YouTube live. You can go to YouTube, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It doesn't cost anything. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Send the link to a friend that you think might be interested. Corey Johnson, Neutral Ground on YouTube. And yeah, we're on television. The first 90 minutes of the 2-hour radio program, simulcast on TV, 4 to 5:30. Cox Channel 4 television in New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, 4 to 5:30 weekdays, all over Louisiana. Cox TV, the #1 television provider in the state. We're all over Louisiana on Cox. Charter, a.k.a. Spectrum Channel 333, all over the state. Slidell, Covington, Mandeville, Hammond, Houma, Thibodaux, Opelousas, Check us out on TV live, like on radio, like live streaming, like on YouTube. After the fact, you can always check out the show on YouTube, Anchor, iTunes, Spotify. The best thing I can tell you, CoreyTalks.com. It's got all this stuff. Pick your poison. Well, Corey, I'm in the car. I need to know where you are on the radio. Corey, I'm at home. I got Cox. I got Spectrum. Well, Corey, I'm going to be at, the hunting blind. I think I'm going to use the tablet or pad or a smartphone and live stream you. CoreyTalks.com. Hey, I'm going to use YouTube. Go to CoreyTalks.com. It's got all the links, all the info, everything you need to know. You can always email us too. Corey, Kaare, Corey at CoreyTalks.com. Email us. Fantastic weather on the way. Tomorrow's going to be okay. Cooler, a little less humidity, a little less heat. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, outstanding. We might see some high 50s on the South Shore, which means we might see some high 40s on the North Shore for a morning or two. And I love this 70s. Highs in the low to mid 70s. Highs on the North Shore of around 70. Are you kidding me? What's that, Blue Boy? Get you frisky, makes you want to run, get you moving a little bit. Glad we've jettisoned the heat and humidity. I'm with you, buddy. I think we've 86 the feels like 90 crap. See you tomorrow. Fantasy Friday edition of the show, 4 p.m. Be there.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.